Hello and welcome to another Broom Room. I'm not even drinking this week. Bloom Room. I'm so excited to be here. I am Amy E. Reichert, here with Heather Webb.
Hi.
Hi.
I was scrambling quickly. My computer's like, the battery's dying. And I was trying to hurry up and, okay, we're here. Woo!
And we are here with Piper Huguley. She is a best-selling author of historical, and I think your new one's contemporary. Is that correct? I forgot to ask you.
My first
and contemporary. Yep, contemporary romance. And we will be talking about her upcoming book, Sweet Tea, later on. And she also teaches world lit and composition in high school. So we are very grateful. Oh, college. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have made that assumption. We're talking about gym, so I just assumed high school. And so silly. So college. So she's, very, very talented. We thank you because teachers are wonderful. Pam Jenoff is a New York Times bestselling author of World War II historical fiction. They're all World War II, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
Let's say most.
Most of them. And I know at one point you were teaching law. You're still teaching law, correct?
Still am. I mean, it's summer vacation, but I will start again in August. Yes.
I am astounded by people who can do day jobs and write. So you're both astounding to me. So
well, day jobs and children and right.
And children, that's true.
All kinds of goodies in the mix there.
Yes. Also, so welcome to the Bloom Room. We're so excited to have you. Thank you for coming.
I was like, ask me. I've always wanted to be on the Bloom Room.
Our silly little show.
I still don't know what I'm doing here though.
Well, you're here because you're wonderful. That's why.
Well, and you like to chat and have fun. That's what it's all about. And talk about books, right?
Exactly.
So we have a little poppy news.
Yay, poppy news.
And the poppy news is we have new poppies.
Yay!
So welcome to Priscilla, Tosca, Denny, Renee, and Nancy.
Yes.
And they will. People I know there.
What's that?
Several folks that I know there.
Yes. And they're wonderful, and they are coming into Bloom each day this week and saying hello to everyone.
Yeah.
And I have to pause for a minute because Piper Love is in the house.
Oh, yeah.
I pay her, so she has not.
And we know Lexi, too. We love Lexi.
We also pay Lexi, so.
Yeah.
So she might be our only paid
money.
Pam is like, I'm so lost.
I'm like, I didn't know about paying people. I got to get right on this tomorrow.
She is our wonderful, helpful assistant who helps us.
Yes, we have an assistant.
The show running.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So to wrap up the poppy news, there is a gift card, a $25 gift card to bookshop.org. You guys, it's posted in announcements on the Bloom page. Make sure you enter. We're going to announce a winner on Friday. And that's to welcome all of our new poppies. And then this isn't really news, but Amy and I are both on deadline.
Oh my God.
We have books due that are coming out next year or early the following year that are due next week. And so at 6:15, was it? I texted Amy and said, oh my God, we have the Bloom Room tonight. Did we talk to Piper and Pam? Oh, because
that's why we have Lexi to help us. So we knew that they were all taken care of.
We're all set up. Yeah, because I started work at 7 a.m. and I stopped at 5:45 and realized people need to eat. I should probably shower.
That's what I was saying. You look like you both showered, so that's really great.
I did shower. I had exercise, or I have to exercise, or I go completely bonkers. So I had to shower after that. Otherwise, it's been a few days.
I feel the shower thing deeply. I just want to say, because I just turned 50 and my family walloped me with a 90-person surprise party on Saturday, but the pretense in getting me there did not have me shower.
Oh no!
The size of my wedding, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be hugging a lot of people."
What did they tell you?
Well,
What
they
are you
told me
doing?
just really quickly. I wanted for my birthday to go to the aquarium because my kids had not been there since before COVID, and they told me we were having a private tour of the aquarium when in fact we were having like a large event there. So that's what I walked into. So yes,
That's
no
so
shower.
fun. I
was
want to
amazing.
go to your party at the aquarium.
It was really special. No shower.
Yeah.
And happy
Which
birthday.
aquarium? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
Which aquarium?
you. Outside Philadelphia, it's the Adventure Aquarium. Piper, where are you located?
Atlanta. That's why
Okay.
we have fun here too, but that's not.
Awesome.
I love
We do
Atlanta.
have fun here on occasion.
Yes.
Love Atlanta.
So speaking
Okay,
of,
yeah.
no, we weren't speaking of books. We were speaking of surprise parties. But let's transition rather awkwardly to book recommendations.
Awesome.
I know we're always reading because we are writers and readers and we love books. So, Pam, is there something you reading that you'd like to recommend?
Yes, I would like to recommend with a special pub day shout out to Jamie Brenner and her book Blush, which came out today. And I love all of Jamie's books. And this one is about wine and vineyard and book clubs and families. And so it's all the things you love plus the Jamie books that you love. So Blush by Jamie Brenner.
I have a copy of that myself, and I have
Ooh.
started it, and I love it so far. And as soon as I turn in that book, I'm going to finish it. So
Awesome.
Piper, where do you have?
Oh yeah, it came out today. That's okay. Because I don't know Jenny, so I didn't get art, but that's okay. My book recommendation for one of the new poppies is Denny Bryce's Wild Women in the Blue.
It's a great book.
Perfect.
Yes, and I had been in on while she was writing it over several years, so I'd gotten sneak peeks that way because we've been in writing immersion together and stuff like that. But I'm also listening to it as I exercise in the morning, and I tell you that narrator, particularly the female narrator, I want her for myself. She is so awesome in terms of all of the voices and stuff that she does. When she does old men, I just start laughing. And I'm sure my neighbors think I'm a nut walking along laughing at the way she does. You know how she'll do old men, they sound toothless, you know, and I was just totally imagining in my mind. So she brings this extra layer of greatness on top of Denny's wonderful words. So.
I feel like
You haven't read it.
good audio narrator, the audiobook narrators are really excellent. They do. They bring books. It's like a step down from a movie or a play, but it's a step up from a book, right? Somewhere in between.
Well, yeah, but some people, I just, want to say, some people think that like audiobooks that aren't reading, but I don't understand that way of thinking.
I
It
disagree.
helps us to get more books into our blood.
I do feel a little guilty myself. I have to say, I mean, it does not keep me from doing it every single day, pretty much. But I do alternate between print and audio. And I do print sort of in the bathtub or before bed. And then I do audio exercising or driving or, that kind of thing. So
All right, you have all mentioned exercising, and now I'm feeling really guilty. You're like, I exercise. I'm like,
I only do it for health reasons and
I'm
not
with
because I am an
Yes.
avid fan. I do it because I have to, or I will
I walk the
not
dog.
live long.
I walk
That's
the
good.
dog.
That's
Okay.
good. Walking the dog now.
yeah,
That's all I
walking is
got.
good. So we have lots of hellos, you guys, from fans from Ontario and
Canada.
beyond.
Woo!
Marissa and
Yay.
Margie and
Excellent.
Pam and Sharon. Hi, you guys.
Hello,
Thank you
everyone.
for joining us.
So speaking of audiobooks,
Yes.
when I first read the book that I am going to recommend, I listened to it because it was read by Elizabeth Gilbert. Big Magic. And it was wonderful. I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks except for when I'm driving, because then I can listen. If I'm doing other things around the house, I get distracted and my mind wanders. So then I have to rewind, and that's no fun. But I was driving and I was listening to Big Magic, and then wonderful Heather, she knows, because of said deadline craziness and a bunch of other stuff, she knows going through some rough stuff. And she very generously sent me a paper copy of my very own. Yay! And if you have not read Big Magic and you are a creative of any kind, it doesn't have to be a writer, this book is a must read. It is truly inspiring. about just what it's like to have ideas floating around and what happens when you get them or when they go away.
And sort of separating from this idea of pain and struggle, separating that from sort of the beauty of the muse and the beauty around us, and how to be open to funneling all that stuff, which sounds a little self-help cheesy, but it's really not. You know, I read
Really good.
one chapter at a time over the course of 6 or 8 months, just for on a day when I needed a little soul substance, and I just love the book so much. So
it's so,
Amy
so
needed
good.
some soul substance, so I said
I did, and I was so happy to have a hard copy, because now it's one that I can doodle all over. Not doodle, but like I like to make notes in books like this. So, what are you reading?
Okay, so before I answer, Lexi, always helpful Lexi, is here to say it's audiobook month, everyone. So there are lots of deals, and Audible's having a huge sale right now. So if there's something that you're wanting, now's a great time.
Like maybe the books that we're going to be talking about with Pam and Piper.
Yes. Okay, so I am reading, actually, it's an audiobook as well, is The Collector's Apprentice by B.N.
I always
Shapiro.
think we all got closer to the screen.
I know. I see it. And if you're not familiar with B.A. Shapiro, you might know her first really big hit. She'd had several books before that, but The Art Forger, which was a great book about the art heist in Boston, where millions of pieces were stolen in 1993, I think.
That seems right.
May not be the exact year, but somewhere in there. And the Collector's Apprentice is not that. It's a 1920s. It's a dual timeline. A woman who's shunned by her family, and she hooks up with this American collector, and he needs a secretary / woman who is knowledgeable about arts to help him. And there's a murder trial mixed in there, and it's great so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. So
love it.
Well, that's what I'm reading. So books, great books. Let's talk about great books, Pam Jenoff. You just had a recent release, and we know The Woman with the Blue Star is a great book. We've already talked about it a tiny bit here on the Bloom Room, but we want to hear about it from you. Tell us.
I didn't know you talked about it. The Woman with the Blue Star was inspired by a true story of some Jewish people who survived World War II by hiding in a sewer. And I don't mean hiding like they ran through the sewer. I mean hiding as in they lived in that sewer for more than a year. And I don't write true stories, but I was inspired in particular by part of the story, which is that there was a young girl in the sewer, and she looked up through the grate and she saw a girl her own age buying flowers. And she was so struck by their disparity. And her mother said to her, someday there will be flowers for you. And so I was so inspired by this story that I wondered what would have happened if the girl in the sewer and the girl on the street had had the chance to know one another, and what that friendship would have meant for both of their lives.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. And a beautiful concept too. I feel like so often in fiction, and we're all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us are guilty of this. We write in the love piece, which I adore, but I feel like there's not enough, especially in historical fiction, female friendships. And
but I think that is just a different kind of love story. I think every book is a love story of some kind.
It is. And I feel like there's a lot more of it in contemporary fiction, Amy, would you say? But in this fic, I don't see it as much. So I love that you are going from that angle, Pam. I think that's
really I always want to know, they take these people who never would have met but for the war, and it's exciting to see what happens.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
We want to hear the behind the scenes. Do you have a story about something interesting or random, or oh my god, I didn't expect that? Or
I have two linked parts really briefly. The first is that I turned this book in, and after 11 books, my editor, who I adore, looked at it and said, no. And I had written a real clunker of a book. And so I had to rewrite 95% of this book in 5 months. But it gets better because I decided to make lemonade out of lemons and plan a trip to Poland for research, to Krakow, where I used to live but have not been in 17 years. I thought, okay, I'll go back to Poland. I planned this big mom-only trip, no kids. and I booked my ticket for March 11th, 2020.
Oh
And
no!
the pandemic was bubbling up, and they said, "Oh, we don't know if you should go." I was like, "I am going, and I'm going to wear one of those masks because no one knew what those were. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to go." My flight was canceled on March 11th, and thank God, because I had an emergency appendectomy on March 12th.
No,
And so
you didn't.
I came home from the hospital, and the next day, and it was like Rip Van Winkle, like we never left the house again.
That.
Wow!
And I finished writing a book about isolation in isolation. True story. That's all I got.
That's a lot.
One.
That's a lot.
After surgery.
Incredible.
After surgery,
Wow.
and you were fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I came home and like I never saw my kids' last day of school, like, because I was in the hospital. Like it was just very weird. All of a sudden, the groceries were being delivered.
It was
Wow.
yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness
Never
that
went.
you weren't on the plane, honestly, because if you'd had your appendicitis rupture, your
Yes.
appendix
Right.
rupture
Yeah,
on the plane,
bad things.
bad.
Yeah,
Well,
It was
all
so basically COVID saved your life.
saved my life. It's true.
basically COVID saved my life.
The only person who
I
can
was going
probably
to say
say
that. Right. I love it.
Great.
Okay, Piper's got to have a better story than that. Something
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm sorry. You won.
I don't want to win this one.
All right, I put that up too soon. You have to tell us about your upcoming book, Piper. Sweet Tea. This looks adorable, and I love the colors on the cover, and I can already tell. With Hallmark, I'm so curious because it's with Hallmark's a fairly new imprint, right?
Yes. And it was developed in order to help create books and publishing around for the future movies potentially. So this has potential for that. So always hoping
That's exciting.
for that. So yeah, it's about an intellectual property lawyer who is compelled to come back south to Georgia. She lives in New York. She's been hiding out in New York for a long time. Oh, thank you, Lexi. And she comes
Yay.
back to Georgia because there's some amazingly handsome director who is trying to make a movie with her grandmother, who is the college in the college town. She's the college town the cook in the school cafeteria. And so she has these great recipes that all these foodie people would come near and far every year to come to this feast that she puts on to help raise funds for the school. And he's filming her and is writing a cookbook. And so the granddaughter, who's been away for all this time, is an intellectual property lawyer and wants to make sure that her grandmother's being appropriately compensated for her work, that she hasn't signed anything, whatever. So she has to come back home, and of course, they end up falling in love. So
Do not take advantage of my grandmother.
If this doesn't get made into a Hallmark movie, I'm going to be very, very angry.
Yes,
I'll lose faith in Hallmark, to be honest, because this is a perfect Hallmark plot.
You have said so many words that appeal to me. Small town, big town coming back home.
Mhm.
Grandma cooks food. I am all there.
So let
I
us
am
hope
in.
from your lips to God's ears that they go ahead and do it. It's and it was sort of the behind the scenes thing. The editor, she put out on Facebook that she wondered why didn't more diverse people send her stuff. And I had been working with her on and off, and I had given her what I thought were several great ideas, and she had not wanted any of them. And so I just felt like, well, hey, okay, I have this thing on my hard drive. It has been gathering dust on the hard drive, and I'm just going to slap it out there. So there. And I did, and she bought it.
Awesome. Go
So
find
this
that hard
book has been
drive.
on my hard drive for like 5 years.
That's a perfect example of no effort is wasted effort.
That's true.
You know,
That's
you
true.
write
The
these
whole
things, you put them in
synopsis
an old
was just
file.
there, and there it was. So,
Yeah, you save it. You don't have no idea how that's going to come back around.
yeah, you don't.
Right?
You really don't. And so that's what informed my contemporary debut.
And when does your book come out? When is
July 13th.
July 13th? Okay.
Mhm.
And
So
Pam's
pre-orders are happening now, people.
Pre-orders are happening now. It is on NetGalley for those of you who have membership.
Oh, there we go. Marissa's getting it.
Marissa's on it.
Marissa.
She is great with the reviews.
She is. She's wonderful.
She is so generous. So that's awesome. So I have to ask you, because I am I want to have a Hallmark movie of one of my books so badly. But I'm curious, because when you watch Hallmark movies as one does on like a binge, they just sort of happen some days. There does seem to be like the kiss doesn't happen until the very, very end. And I'm wondering if that is still true with the books.
That was one problem with the synopsis. There was too much kissing.
Oh, how dare you. 3 kisses. I think I've seen one Hallmark Christmas movie where there's a kiss that happens before like the final scene.
And that was one of the changes that I had to make. I had to take out 2 of the kissing. Yes.
So
I
it's
feel like
kind of along the lines of sort of inspirational romance, kind of.
Well, no, because remember, inspirational has to have a faith thread. There has to be a purposeful aspect of faith all throughout. And there are scenes in Sweet Tea that take place in church. There are church lady hats, which while I'm promoting it, I have a big, huge church lady hat that I will be donning. But so there's no faith element in this.
Right.
So
no, it's more of a sweet. I hear sweet a lot.
Yes. And that's the thing. And the way I think of it is like it's courtship.
Yes.
That's how I think of it. It's all the leading up to, and so at the end, they have one kiss. But one of the important elements, one of the important plotting elements, you probably know this, Amy, is the almost kiss.
Yes.
The almost kiss happens at a certain point as well. Yeah. So there's going to be an almost kiss that happens
interrupted
as part of that.
So
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes for my next book. There's going to be an almost kiss.
Yes. An almost kiss is a very important element. And usually when you have it, and you can testify to this in terms of it's in some public way where they're interrupted.
Yes.
And sometimes a lot of Hallmark movies, it's a little child or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I won't reveal, how Allie and Jack are interrupted with their almost kiss.
No
spoilers.
No.
Yeah, I can't spoil it. But yeah, it's a very important turning point. So as you're doing plot points, that is one of the things that you must have.
Love that.
I'm thinking of the tragic arc I'm writing right now, and I think there was kisses and a whole lot more way before Hallmark would deem appropriate. I'm pretty sure I'd get
I don't
off
think
this.
that would not. They would not cross that out.
That might be part of my problem is my characters do get a bit steamy. And not steamy. Like I'm a closed door romance writer.
They don't write it out, but
right.
There's certain kind of
They call it fade to black, right?
Fade to black. Closed door. Yep.
I draw it out.
I write books my mom can read, like PG-13, right?
Oh, my mom reads it all. Sorry, she's probably watching this. Hi, Mom.
I also read it all. So if you decide to go off the rails and get too steamy, Piper, I am in whether it's sweet or steamy. Bring it on.
Amen.
Bring it on.
Amen. Well, and I think you can still make, without the kisses, you can still make it quite steamy. And I will go, my point is with the book Aisha at Last, where they don't they don't kiss, they don't do any of that, but there is some tension and it is lovely.
And I've been told that I do that. So.
Well, I will let you know after I read Sweet Tea. I've just changed the title, Sweet Tea. Because this sounds like it needs to be read by me very quickly. Right up my alley. All right. So that sounds great.
Well, hold on. We have an excellent comment. Then it will be hot.
Go, Margie.
That's a good one.
Hot tea.
So one of our favorite parts of the show is to share something that we are digging on recently. We have seen My Moon Lamp that I bought after a glass of wine. We have seen excellent hair straighteners. We've seen lots of lovely things and some great food. And Pam has something she'd like to share with us.
Sure. So let me start by saying that I don't cook. It's one of the ways when people say, how do you get it all done? I never make dinner. It's not my department. That's my husband. I stay in my lane. I don't cook. However, I have a recent no cook recipe that I'm super psyched about in the hot weather. And it's this healthy summer Mediterranean salad. So all you do, open a can of chickpeas, throw them in, some tomatoes, some cucumbers, some peppers, and then you sprinkle it with a little feta, couple Kalamata olives, and you top it with olive oil and salt. And if you're feeling really, really big, you could add some squirt of lemon. And that is my healthy salad. Make a double portion, eat half today for lunch, and put half in the fridge for tomorrow. That's it.
That's super good. I might be making that tomorrow.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. My stupid easy one is I just cook some pot stickers real quick. I know that you don't cook. But then I toss them on top of lettuce with a little bit of Panera's Asian dressing and some of those little crispy wonton strips. And it's super good.
That sounds really good. I'm going to try that. Where are your pot stickers from?
Costco.
Okay.
I just get one of those giant bags because that's an easy thing to.
Perfect.
Yeah. Super easy because you can just, while that's making, you can get all the other pieces assembled so that it's just a quick dump and go.
Nice.
So yeah.
Awesome.
I'm all for easy recipes. All right.
Yeah, no, seriously. Tonight, my easy was ordering from the Indian restaurant down the street.
Yes.
Deadline mode.
Yes.
That reminds me of the Uber Eats coupon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Piper, do you have something you'd like to share with us tonight?
The only thing I can think to share is like one of the notes that my editor made in the margins of Sweet Tea was, and she was like, "Is this a thing?" And it is. It's egg pie.
Oh, like an egg custard pie.
Yes.
I know that. It's a Southern pie.
It is very much a Southern pie. And I think that's why she asked, was that a thing? Because it was not, she didn't know anything about it or whatever. But if you live in the South, you can go to grocery stores and buy it. And so, yeah, it's like Heather described. It's an egg custard thing. And the hero has a slice of it in the school cafeteria before his interview. So
is it like a vanilla custardy kind of flavor?
Yes, and it's one of those, it belongs to that family of pies for people who do cook that, when you don't have much of anything that you're making up something. There's egg pie. There's such a thing as water pie too.
I've seen vinegar pie.
Vinegar pie is in that same family.
I don't know either of those two.
I've seen like buttermilk pie. I've seen a lot of those.
Or even the
oatmeal
of chess pie, where the corruption of just pie, chess pie, it's like, lemon in there.
Oh,
and they all seem to come out of like the Southern cooking tradition, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated. I need to go Google this.
Well, when you're like what Piper was saying, when you don't have much, you throw it, you throw everything in a crust or a pan, and you cook what you have, and so. So the egg pie is very similar to flan. So anyone who's had flan, it's almost flan, but in a pie crust.
Flan,
it's very similar. Flan. I guess we say flan in the U.S., right? It's like a French
flan. Yeah, flan.
Well, and I guess like the Northern cooking tradition is probably more along the lines of like fruit crumbles and things. Oh, we just lost Jen. I mean Pam.
Yeah.
Whoops.
No. Hopefully she'll come back. Maybe she's just done. Oh, there she is.
No, she's coming back in. Wait, or she's trying to.
Amy and I are hitting add at the same time. So
she is. Okay. Oh,
wow. Because I don't cook. Clearly, I was like imposter.
Pam was off to get.
I am. Sounded so good. Like I'll be right back.
Okay, before we get off the subject of pie, can we talk just a quick minute? What water pie? What is that?
Yeah. See, I like these words. It's a similar kind of thing where it's like you have water and some flavoring, a thickener, etc., and you pour it into a crust and bake it, and the water like evaporates out of it. And apparently, I've never had it before, but apparently it does have like some kind of citrusy kind of
Okay, so water,
flavor
maybe
to it.
citrus, maybe like cornstarch to thicken
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to investigate. This is a
Yeah.
puzzling thing.
I'm
gonna
looking
check
at
it
a
out.
picture of a water pie right now, and it kind of looks like a custard pie. Little
you
bit like a
show it?
butter. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
I should have
I'm
given you a
hungry.
picture
I'm very
beforehand.
puzzled.
How dare I? I'm mentioning all of this stuff and I didn't give you guys a picture to put up.
You know how it goes. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do all the things.
But I have my husband's aunt was the one who was known in the family who would do.
Make
Yummy.
it.
Okay, here's the water
Yeah,
There
pie.
it is. Oh, okay.
So it's the at least in the recipe here, it's water, flour, sugar, and salt. So this particular recipe uses flour to thicken it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
fascinating, and I bet it's delicious. I mean, how
Yeah.
could it not be?
I mean, it's flour and sugar.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. All right, we'll move that along. See, this is, and I feel bad, Pam, but I could talk pies all day.
Well, yeah, Amy, you've written a few of those.
Well, true confession is that I once went to a wedding where they had cake pie instead of wedding cake, and I was like permanently scarred by that. But Amy, I want to tell you, I had to just recommend for a cookbook. I had to put in a recipe, and one of the questions was your favorite food themed book, and I put the coincidence of coconut cake.
Oh,
Pam Jenoff, thank you.
Long time fan, although I'm more cake than pie, but still.
I get it. Hey, I get it. I get it. I have had booksellers tell me straight up that they weren't super fans of like one of my book, my lemon pie book, but they sold it to customers based on the pie recipe. They thought it was so good.
Look,
Like,
whatever,
hey,
gets a book in someone's hands.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Well, ladies,
yeah, I
that
like
was
that.
so much fun.
Yes, it
And we're
was.
already out of time.
Yes.
So
Thank you for having
you.
me.
And congratulations on your books. And we're
Yes.
going to drop links in the comments so people can check them out. And
Yes.
we'll share the YouTube links so you guys can share too. And that's it.
Yes.
So,
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
See you guys next week.